Do you think intelligence makes people happy, or intelligence makes people sad? Like once you become intelligent, you automatically become sad. What if humans are just ape that became? What if humans are just apes just that became too smart, like too smart for their own good? Welcome, Adam Sandbag. What if humans are just apes just became too smart? The story of the Anunnaki is very interesting. Hi, Mindy. Welcome, welcome. The story of the Anunnaki is very interesting, right? There were some tablets that were discovered in the 19th century in Iraq, and on these tablets there are like this depiction of like these aliens. Some of these aliens were holding monkeys. Some of these aliens had watches. You know, in some of these tablets you'll see the technology that we're using today. Many many people who can interpret different languages, like who studied ancient languages, they try to interpret what was on those tablets. One of the guys who's actually famous, his name is Zacharias Stitchens. He interpreted what was on the tablet, and he says that the tablets are about these ancient aliens called the Anunnakis. They came from a planet called Nibiru. They came to Earth because they wanted gold, but they didn't want to dig gold themselves because it would be a lot of work. So they decided to alter our DNA. They mixed our DNA with theirs so that we will understand them, so that they'll be able to communicate with us. But they limited us in so many ways. Like they didn't want us to be as intelligent as they were, because we wouldn't want to be slaves if we're going to be as intelligent as they were. So they limited us in so many different ways. And yeah, we did their work. After we did what they wanted us to do, they left, right? When you look at other animals that are here, they don't seem to deal with depression. They don't seem to deal with existential crisis. They just do what they're supposed to do, right? If you see an animal that's actually depressed, it's because of us. Maybe you take an animal and put it in a cage, and it gets to a point where it truly becomes depressed. But it seems like animals are actually coping, right? It's like we are the ones who don't belong here. So I find the stories of the Anunnakis actually interesting, because if the story is true, what it tells us is that we were just like any other animals that were found here, right? But because they merged our DNA with theirs, we became too intelligent. But they still wanted us to be limited. So we're intelligent, but we're limited. Can you imagine being so intelligent that you can imagine a better life for yourself, but you're incapable of making your life better, right? Because it seems like other animals cannot imagine better life for themselves, right? But you can. So that makes you miserable, because you're like, yeah, I want a life where I can do this, where I can do that, but I can't. So it feels like a prison. People think that intelligence is the ability to do a lot of things. Like, for example, if you understand mathematics, that's intelligence. If you can invent something new, that's intelligence. But I think it's something that it's hidden in all of us, but some people are able to access it somehow. So it's not really intelligent. It's the gifts that we already had, right? It's the gifts that the Anunnakis had. So we already had the gifts. So some people are unable to unlock these gifts. Intelligence is the ability to reason, bro, to be able to see things as they are, right? That's why there are so many like people that you consider to be geniuses. Like they can do things that like a lot of normal people cannot do, right? They can do these things, but they're not intelligent. Like, you can tell that something is missing. Like, when you communicate with them, you're like, is this the genius that everyone was talking about? Because something doesn't seem quite right. I don't know if the stories of the Anunnaki is true, but I think it's interesting that, these tablets were discovered in the 19th century, and some of these tablets depict our solar system as it is. They show the technology that was later, like, discovered in 20th century. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of interesting. When I was thinking a lot about the story of the Anunnaki, it made me think deeply about how many people that I know who are very, very intelligent, like people that are considered to be very, very intelligent, but who are not coping, right? They are not okay. They're in this realm, but they're not okay. Um, they reason too much, and there are people that we say think too much. Like, oh, don't think too much. Like, it's wrong to think too much. It's like, no, actually, we should think too much because we are in a realm that we don't quite understand. So thinking too much is what's actually going to set us free at the end of the day. Like, why shouldn't we think in a realm that we don't quite understand, right? So maybe we were not supposed to be uh the way that we are as humans, and that is why we're asking a lot of questions. We can feel that there's something that is missing, right? So we ask a lot of questions. We are curious. We want to go, outer space. We want to see what's out there. We're thinking about aliens, what's under the sea and all of that. But other animals just want to survive. They don't really care. They're not that curious. But we are asking a lot of questions, and because of that, we're not okay, because we're very limited. There are a lot of things that we're incapable of doing because um something didn't want us to have the abilities that will allow us to do these things, right? That could actually, like, help us explore the universe, right? So we will never be able to satisfy our curiosity. So we will just remain curious, asking ourselves, what is this? What is going on? Why do we exist? I remember there's this video that I came across on TikTok. So it was a video of this lady. She was saying that um it doesn't sit well with her that Papa Woo, welcome. Thanks for joining the live. Like, the concept of existence doesn't make sense to her. Like, the fact that she exists, but she doesn't understand what existence is. She doesn't understand where she comes from. She doesn't know what she's doing here. So she exists, but she doesn't know what she's doing here. Why does she exist? She has she has too many questions, but she doesn't have the answers. No one can tell her what this is all about. You know. Now I remember that, when I watched that video, I remember that there's so many videos like that I've watched. Like, people are asking the right questions. It's just that it's not a lot of people, but there are a few people who are actually asking the right questions. Why are many people asking this kind of questions when people asking the same questions before, and now, because we have social media, we come across people who are asking these questions? All the animals that are here don't seem to be asking the questions that we're asking as humans. What if we were cursed with intelligence, but we weren't given the knowledge? So we don't know anything, but we're intelligent enough to ask the right question. We're as intelligent as whatever brought us here, but we do not have knowledge. And maybe that's why we are not given knowledge. Doesn't that make sense? Like, we are not, because we're not being told anything. You want to know, but no one is telling you anything. Don't you think it's because we're actually intelligent? But what if animals are asking those questions, but we can't communicate the language? That's what I thought, but it doesn't seem like they are. It doesn't seem like they are. I think humans, even if you couldn't communicate with them. Let's just say you were not a human, you were an alien, and you couldn't communicate with humans. I think you will be able to see that some of these humans are asking themselves the most important questions, right? Some of these humans are ending their lives. Animals don't do that. I mean, yes, maybe we might have seen an animal that seems like it wanted to end its life, but it's rare, and it seems like maybe it's just something is just wrong with it than it reasoning too much, right? It seems like it's humans who sit down and actually think, who sit down and actually communicate. You know what I'm saying? And have deep conversations. So I don't think animals can think as deeply as we can. I think animals don't ask these questions that we ask. And I think asking these questions actually makes us miserable because we are not given the knowledge, but we are capable of coming up with answers that actually make sense. But the problem is that no one is going to confirm to us that, hey man, you got it. You understand what life is. That's it. The whole point of existence was for you to understand what is actually going on. So now that you understand what's going on, that's it. You're good. You know what I'm saying? Like, now we will allow you to be free. No. Like, you could figure out what the truth is, but because you don't get confirmation that what you think the truth is the truth, you just, you know, you let it go like that, and then start to think about different theories. This reminds me of movies where there's a detective who's looking for like a criminal, and he doesn't know, like, he was looking for a perpetrator, doesn't know who the perpetrator is, and maybe meets the perpetrator, and they suspect that, okay, this might be the perpetrator, but the perpetrators manipulate them, and they'll be like, okay, it's not, let me just, it's kind of like that, because no one confirms to you that you've found the truth. That's what sucks about this existence. You could find the truth, but no one is going to confirm to you, because you don't have knowledge. Like, even if it feels true, who's going to tell you that you have found the truth, right? And why don't we know nothing, bro? Why ain't we given knowledge about our existence? That should tell you something. So I think other animals are doing better than us, like when it comes to like happiness, right? Because they are not as intelligent as we are. We are too damn intelligent for this realm. We are too damn intelligent to be this limited. You see the problem? Like, maybe that's the real problem, is that you are too intelligent to be this limited. Like, at your level of intelligence, you should be able to explore other realms, alternate universes, travel to space and all. Like, maybe that's what will make you happy, not being stuck here experiencing the same things every day. But the humanoids that the Anunnakis found here, they will be satisfied with that, because they can't even imagine that there could be other worlds out there, there could be other realities, there could be other universes. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't even imagine that consciousness could be fundamental, but you can. So you're sad because you are as intelligent as your creator, but very limited. You see, you're as intelligent as your creator, but as limited as the humanoids that you found here. That's the real problem, don't you think? It's something that I was thinking a lot about today, because the people that I know who are actually intelligent don't seem to be coping. Like, how many people do you know who are actually intelligent, who actually seem to be coping? It seems like a lot of people who are intelligent are not coping. A lot of people who are intelligent are not okay. Like, there are very few people who are intelligent who are actually okay, bro. And it's because they're doing better than others, I guess. They're not as limited as others. But a lot of people who are intelligent and who are very limited, they're not coping. Think of the dumbest animals that you know. If these animals were put in a place where they're not free, and they're just given food, they're probably okay. They will not really seem as depressed as a human would seem if they were in that kind of a place, because human beings are too intelligent to want to be limited. Do you get what I'm saying? I keep on telling people that depression is common among intelligent people, and we need to ask ourselves why. Why are a lot of people who are very intelligent dealing with depression, right? Why? A lot of people who are intelligent get to deal with depression at some point in their lives, or their whole lives, really. You know, it might not be severe depression. Sometimes you find that a person is dealing with depression, but it's not severe depression. It's not uh they I want to end things kind of depression, but they're still dealing with depression. They're not really okay. They're not, like, they always feel like there is something that is missing, right? No matter how hard they try to settle in the world and find peace, they can't, because they always feel like there is something that is missing. They always feel like there's something that is supposed to know that they are not being told. There's something that they're supposed to understand that they don't understand. Because think about it, it's only intelligent people who will be asking themselves questions about existence, right? Don't, like, no one who's like not intelligent who will be asking themselves about existence. Why would you be asking yourself about existence if you're not intelligent? Why would you be asking yourself what this is, what is actually going on, why do you exist, where do you come from if you're not intelligent? You wouldn't even dream of asking yourself that question, right? You ask yourself these questions because you are very intelligent and you're curious, you want to know. The problem is that you are limited. You're not being taught how to actually lucid dream, how to shift to another reality if that's possible. um you're supposed to be a slave that's too damn intelligent to accept slavery, if that makes sense. Because if the Anunnakis altered our DNA, we possess their intelligence, but they wanted us to be slaves. They wanted us to be their slaves, right? So we are slaves that are too smart to want to be slaves, to enjoy being slaves, right? I hope that I do not finish my data before I'm done with this life, because I just received a notification that my data is almost finished. Maybe not almost finished, but I just received a notification. It seems to me that the real problem is that we're too intelligent. Like, there's a direct link between intelligence and depression. Like, there's a direct link between intelligence and depression, right? And it makes complete sense when you realize how stupid most people are. You see, if you live in a world where most of the people that you live with are stupid, they're going to make stupid decisions. So you'll be in a situation where you'll see where the solutions to your problems are as a society, right? You'd see that, okay, this is the solution. But because you are outnumbered, and numbers don't lie, I guess, in this world, right? So if a lot of people don't agree with you, you will still lose, even though you can see what the solutions are. There's been so many people in the past who were very intelligent, were ahead of their time. They weren't understood by the people that they lived with back then, because they were just too dumb to understand them. They even bullied them and tortured them because they were too damn intelligent. But now when we look back, we're like, but those people were right, because we have learned a lot since then. So now we kind of get it that, they were right. But back then, people didn't understand them and they didn't agree with them. Because here's the thing, just because you're intelligent doesn't mean people are going to agree with you. Just because you're right doesn't mean that people are going to agree with you. It doesn't work like that in this realm. You see? If you're outnumbered, bro. It made me think of what I witnessed yesterday. If people agree on the same thing, it doesn't matter what the real solution is, right? If people say, okay, we want this to happen, it doesn't matter. It's just what matters to them is what they want. Give people what they want. That's it. I was having a conversation with someone about the kind of music that people listen to now, the kind of movies that people watch now, and I was like, Sometimes we will blame the people who are in power, who are giving us this nonsense, while the real truth is that that's what we want. They're giving us what we want. They're giving us what sells, right? If what was making them money was like maybe hip hop that maybe raise people's consciousness, uh, that's what they will be making sure that they will be making, right? They will be signing artists to make that kind of music because they want to make money, they want power. So it's about what actually sells. So what we are being fed as a collective has to do with our intelligence as a collective, right? Like, not that many people are intelligent. That is the problem. Not that many people are intelligent. So if you are born in a world where you are very smart, but a lot of people that you interact with are not as intelligent as you are, you're going to suffer, because if they don't agree with you, it doesn't matter if you're right. That's the problem. You could be, listen, man, you could come up with a solution that could change the world for the better for for everyone who's here now and everyone who's going to live in the future. But if they don't see that you're right, if they're not intelligent enough to see that you're right, they will not agree with you. And what are you going to do? Are you going to use force? Are you going to use power? That means you're just going to continue to exist mad that the people that you live with don't understand you. And not only are you going to suffer because they don't agree with you and you're going to suffer the consequences of their stupidity, you're also going to suffer because they won't connect with you. You are so ahead of their time. So they look at you and be like, that one is insane. What the heck is he saying? They'll even laugh at you and even bully you. So you go through hell because you're more intelligent than the people that you live with. And that's the real problem. Intelligence makes people depressed, bro. Think of all the people that you know that are depressed. Don't they seem more intelligent than a lot of people that you interact with daily? We are outnumbered. That's the real problem. So you can't connect with people. There's a reason why you want to isolate yourself. You're like, you know what, man, I just want to be alone. I can't deal with people right now. Yeah, you can't, because they are not like you. They're not operating at your level of intelligence. That's why you are able to see what's wrong with society. There's a lot of things that are wrong with society, but a lot of people cannot see that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because they are operating at a level of intelligence that uh that the people who have power are operating on. So there's a connection, right? They connect. So to them this makes sense, but to you it doesn't, because you are imagining a world that's better. But the problem is that you are limited. So even if you try to change things, you can't, because you're very limited, and that's the real problem. Movies that really open up people's minds are Martin Scorsese and Stanley Kubrick movies. What about that guy who made the Inception movie and Tenet? Um, what's his name? I always forget his name, but I think he's also making great movies, bro. Like, it's Christopher Nolan, something like that, and I think he makes great, like, mind-bending movies. He made movies like Memento. I think, yeah, he also produced that movie, Memento. So yeah, he also makes great movies, because it's movies that make you question reality. I think your better chance of freeing yourself is by questioning reality. It's not accepting the world as it is, or accepting the explanation that you are given by people about the world that you are living in. It's you have to observe this world, observe the patterns, your feelings, how the world responds to you. Sometimes, and I was having a conversation with someone about this. I was like, ever noticed that if something really good happens and you celebrate a lot, you become too damn happy, something bad is gonna happen. It's like, you gotta notice that. Or if your day starts off really, really bad, often something good will happen. You gotta try to figure out why it's that way, right? But yeah, it's you who have to give yourself answers, because they're not giving you the right answers at the end of the day. They're giving people answers that they feel will make sense to them. but not the real answers, because the answers that they give them, when you try to look, like to dig deeper, you'll be like, no, these answers are not actually making sense, right? When you're too intelligent, and that's another thing, there's another problem with intelligence, right? When you're too intelligent, even if you go to say a therapist, when they talk to you, you'll be easily bored. Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? You would rather watch YouTube videos. You'll be like, okay, let me just look for people who, think like me, and then you're like, oh damn, I connected with this person. I didn't know people like this existed, because I went for therapy and it didn't help. That's the thing. You are so ahead of your time that they have not come up with solutions for the problems that you deal with, right? So they can't help you. That's the real problem here. Intelligence is a real burden, bro. Being ahead of your time is a real burden. The way society works is that everyone must be the same. That's when everyone will be okay. If people are different, there's gonna be problems. And if you are the only one who's different, then your life is gonna be worse, because you're different, bro. Like, if you grew up in a family where no one understood you, right? Your parents didn't understand you, your siblings didn't understand you. You understand what I'm talking about, right? So no one understands you in your family, not because you're wrong, not because you do not make sense, but because you're so damn right, and they are not at the level of intelligence to understand it. So they disagree with you, and then later they realize that you were right. And it sucks, because you'll be suffering when they're disagreeing with you. You're like, why can't you see that I'm right? To me, it's obvious that I'm right, but you don't see that I'm right. And then at a later stage, they realize that you were right, but it's too late. That's the problem. So you will have suffered. That's what sucks. So listen, you are intelligent, but you suffer because others are stupid. So you suffer as if you are stupid, because we're social creatures. You don't live alone. The decisions that other people make affect you. If people in your country vote for someone who doesn't qualify to actually run your country, if the majority of people love that person because that person is charismatic and they vote for that person, but you can see that, no, this person doesn't qualify, you're going to suffer the consequences of their stupidity. It means you gotta suffer because of them, because, well, they voted for this person. So you might have voted for the right person, but because the majority of the people voted for the wrong person, you have to suffer with them. Do you understand how depressing that is? You're like, well, I was able to see that this guy ain't gonna change anything. Like, he ain't capable. I can see that, but you can't. That's the problem. So now I must suffer with you because of the decision that you've made. You see the problem? Well, intelligence is a curse, because we are not capable on our own to make real changes in the world. You see, we don't have superpowers. We can't do what the Anunnakis used to do. That's why I'm telling you that we possess the intelligence of the Anunnakis. We possess the intelligence of gods, but we do not have the powers of the gods. If that makes sense to you. So now we have this intelligence, but we're too damn limited. It's like being in a prison, right? Can you imagine if you were a genius, but in prison, you can't do anything. You just stuck there. You can't do anything, right? So that's how it's like. It's like you're too damn intelligent, but you are in prison. Do you see the problem? You are operating at a very high level of consciousness, but you are in prison. So of course you wouldn't be okay. Of course you wouldn't be able to cope. I like Wolf of Wall Street. Wait, Wolf of Wall Street. Wall Street it's a Christopher Nolan movie. Because if there's a Christopher Nolan movie, then it means he's too damn versatile. Because I know he likes to make mind-bending movies, right? So that's not a mind-bending movie. It's just a brilliant movie. I really liked it too. I thought it was really funny. That's why they say in this room that you are too intelligent for your own good. What they're really saying is that you are so ahead of everyone else that you can't connect with them, that they can't understand you. They can't. You get what I'm saying? So you are not going to have a nice time. Do you understand? You are more intelligent than everyone else, and people connect because they understand each other. You can't connect with people that you don't understand, right? So people who understand one another, they will be the people that connect. You know, they have something in common. So if you're too intelligent, you don't have anything in common with anyone. That's the reason why a lot of people who are intelligent are loners, bro. Like, you swear they like being alone, but it's not really true, man. Ever met a person that you truly connect with? You want to be with them all the time, unless you're too damn used to being alone, because that can happen. But if you met a very intelligent, like a person who's as intelligent as you are, at the time that you were still seeking for friendship, you will want to be their friend forever, until you maybe you now, because you're too comfortable being alone, because you can learn to be comfortable being alone, so now you don't actually need friends. But the truth is, people who become loners, they become loners because they don't find people that they connect with. So obviously, if you're more intelligent than everyone else, then you will struggle to connect with other people, so you'll automatically become a loner. So you suffer because you're intelligent. You're not suffering because you're dumb. You're not suffering because you're wrong. You're not suffering because you're inadequate. You're not suffering because you're incapable. You're suffering because you're right. You're unable to cope because you're right. You're sitting in your room, not cleaning your room because you are right. So people will look at you and be like, oh, look at that person, doesn't even clean his room. It means he's depressed, blah, blah, blah. And they doubt you, they judge you. Well, they're not realizing the real truth, which is that you have realized that you are not connecting with other people because you are to them right and they're to them wrong, right? It sucks being intelligent, bro. It actually sucks. A lot of people who cope in this world are people who are not very intelligent. These are the people who truly fit in. So they are operating at the level of intelligence that everyone is operating on. So they're able to cope because of that. They're able to connect with the system because of that. But you can't. You try, but you can't connect with the system. So you feel alone. Even when you're surrounded by people. So even if you have people in your life, you still feel alone. Sometimes you can be surrounded by people, maybe because there's something that they want from you, and you can sense that you don't really have a connection with these people, but there is something that they want from you. So there's the reason why they like you. This reminds me of what XXXTentacion once said. He's like, yo, man, I would feel alone even when I'm surrounded by a lot of people. And the reason why I'd feel alone even when it's surrounded by a lot of people is because these people don't really understand him, but he has a lot of money, he has fame, you know, he has a lot of fans, so they want to be around him, but they don't understand him, and a lot of them even try to fake, right? A lot of them even try to, you know what I'm saying, they try to act like they are like him, just to make him feel like they connect with him, right? So he feels alone even when he's surrounded by people, because you can see that, no, these people don't really understand me, not in ways that I want to be understood. You know, they don't really hear me, not in ways that I want to be heard, right? There's a reason why sometimes when like a person is very intelligent, they go through what we call a mental breakdown. Like, they'll become so angry, they scream sometimes, and you're like, you know, so you just think, oh, this person just has mental issues and all that, but you find that no, the person is so damn right that they don't understand how others don't understand them. Like, they're on another level of awareness, right? They're operating at a level of intelligence or level of awareness that not that many people are able to operate on. It's very difficult, bro, to be more intelligent than others in this society that we live in. It's numbers that counts. But it's not that numbers don't lie. It's just that we value numbers more than truth. You know, if someone has a lot of fans, they just think that it means that I'm better than the ones who doesn't. Like, if you're an artist and you're making garbage, but you have a lot of fans, you think that it means I'm better than this person, right? Like, if you're you're a mumble rapper and you have more fans than Kendrick. Yeah, it means I'm better than Kendrick. You have more fans than King Loss. It means I'm better than King Loss. You have more fans than Hobson. It means I'm better than Hobson. But not really. It just means that, at the level that we're at as a collective, that's what people really resonate with at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? If you write a book and a lot of people resonate with that book, it doesn't necessarily mean that the book is the best. Yes, you can write a book and it's the best book and everyone resonates with it. That's possible. But numbers sometimes do lie. You see? You could be a politician and you find that a lot of people are supporting you and you think that, oh, it's because I'm right, it's because I'm next level. Well, the truth is that a lot of people are not on the level of the person that you are competing against. So they don't understand that person. You find that person is right, that person will come up with the right solution. But because a lot of people are not as intelligent as that person, so they can understand that person, you win. So you're not winning because you're smarter or you're better than that person. You're winning because people are not at the level of that person. You see? It's crazy, but that's how it is in this realm. That is why if a lot of people don't like you or a lot of people do not seem to want to understand you or connect with you, don't look down on yourself and be like, it means there's something wrong with me, because that's what a lot of people do. Like, they start to look down on themselves, right? It means there's something wrong with me. That's why a lot of people don't understand me. That's why I don't connect with a lot of people. While the real truth is that, no, you're just ahead of them. You are so ahead of everyone that they don't get you. No matter how right you are, they don't get you because you are so ahead of them. It sucks, but it's true. We are social creatures, and that's how we operate. So now, I'm hoping my kid is a firefighter. You wanna have kids. Why do you want your kid to be a firefighter? The world that we live in doesn't operate by the rules of the most intelligent people. People will surprise you with their stupidity, bro. You'll be thinking, one of the biggest problems with being intelligent is that you assume that everyone is intelligent. When you're a kid, in fact, you don't actually assume that everyone is intelligent. You just assume that everyone is like you. So when you were a kid, when you were able to see some truth that other kids weren't able to see, you assumed they were able to see this truth. And when they weren't able to see this truth, it hurt you. You didn't understand. Maybe you thought they were pretending, but they were not pretending. I remember I gave you all this example about professional wrestling, right? When I first started watching professional wrestling, I was like, okay, this is scripted. Like, I knew it was scripted, but other kids didn't see that it was scripted. So listen, I'll get bullied for realizing that WWE is scripted. You find that, bro, like, I'm debating with the whole class. People will even get angry at me for telling them the truth. I'm like, it's scripted. Like, no, it's not scripted. Like, you're crazy. It's not scripted. WWE is not scripted. You're like, how do you not see it's not? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so because we were able to prove that it was scripted, now I was able to see that I was right about a lot of things that a lot of kids weren't right, thought I wasn't right about. So it can be like that. You find that you're right about something, but other kids cannot see that you're right. You see, when it comes to intelligence, I remember Sam Harris said something very intelligent in one, very, very interesting in one of his videos. Oh, it was actually on an interview with, what's the name of this guy? I forgot the name of this guy, but it's kind of new. What is his name? Is Russian. He has a podcast. I forgot his name. He focuses a lot on philosophy as well. So Sam Harris said something very interesting. He was like, you know what sucks when it comes to opinions is that even if you have the right opinion, it doesn't automatically mean that you will win a debate if you're debating with someone. It's not like when it comes like with MMA. He said the reason why he likes MMA is that if the fighter is better than the other fighter, he's gonna win. It doesn't matter who the fans like. You know, remember when Conor McGregor fought Khabib? The fans wanted Conor to win, but he got mauled. Like, he got mauled, bro. Like, he got mauled. So he said that's what he likes about MMA. The problem is that when it comes to opinions, even if your opinion is better, if people don't like you or like your opinion, it won't seem as if your opinion is better. So can you imagine if you're too intelligent and your opinions are better than everyone else's opinion? You're going to suffer because you will know that your opinion is better, but they won't know that your opinion is better because they just don't like your opinion. They just don't connect with your opinion. You know, because remember, human beings, you know, what makes people like someone or like someone's opinion, it has to do with how they experience life. You know what I'm saying? A Christian might not like your opinion because it seems to contradict what they believe. You know what I'm saying? So even if you're right, but because they are emotionally invested in their religion, then they're not going to agree with you. So it's not going to matter how right you are, because your opinion does not align with their beliefs. UFC 319. Yeah, UFC 319, man. Hamza Chimaev is winning. Bet your money on Hamza Chimaev. I'm South African, but no, Duplessis is not beating Hamza Chimaev, bro. Like, that guy is next level. But yeah, someone is asking me what is the solution. The solution is to realize that you're right if you're right, than to look down on yourself. You know, it's kind of like you have to take your power back, man. Don't let society take your power because they're not on a level to understand you. If you're too intelligent for your own good, be too intelligent for your own good. It's fine, but believe in your intelligence than to want approval from others. Like, yeah, you also have to see what I'm seeing. You also have to understand what I understand. You know, that's what's making the experience more hellish. Like, no, you are too ahead of your time and other people are not operating at your level. I like this quote from this guy who's my favorite battle rapper. It's like, I have some insights I told my inner demons I will take to the grave. Intelligence makes you a prisoner. Ignorance makes you a slave. Here's the thing. If you are too damn intelligent in the society, you could automatically become a prisoner because you do not want to play by the rules that everyone is playing on. Right? You don't want to play by the rules that everyone is playing by because you're like, these rules don't really make sense. I don't connect with these rules. Maybe if they change this, they change that. But if you are very ignorant, you automatically become a slave. Let's flip the screen, focus on the cars. I'm gonna see how this is going to look while I read the comments. As The Rock says, know your rules and shut your damn mouth already. Know your rules. You're a fan of The Rock. Undertaker was always scary as a kid. That was one of the best wrestlers. But yeah, intelligence is a burden in a society that doesn't value intelligence, bro. In an intelligence that doesn't value truth, intelligence is a burden. You know, people who are intelligent, they care more about the truth than people who are not, because they can see it. You see, once you start seeing the truth, it kind of like, it hurts you in some ways. Ever seen the truth that other people don't see? It kind of like hurts you. Like, you become haunted by the truth. You start to care about the truth. Some people don't care about the truth because at their level, the truth won't save them. This is actually deep. Let's say in your country they were going to choose a president who was very intelligent and ahead of his time. A lot of people who are not intelligent would not benefit much. Why? Because the standard that is going to set, they won't be able to reach the standard. So a lot of people would rather vote for the guy that they see themselves in. They're like, yeah, this is our guy. You get what I'm saying? This is our guy. So they're not going to vote for the guy that's going to set the bar to them high, or that's going to set the standard to them high for them. Because they can't relate. So they know they're not going to be able to benefit. So it's not about what's better for society. It's about what's better for them. You see how it works? So that's what's making intelligence a burden. Because if you're more intelligent than everyone else, that means that everyone else isn't going to agree with you because you're more intelligent than them. They're not going to connect with you. They're not going to love you. Is South Africa ready for an emperor? Why would South Africa want an emperor? Samia Unlu, hey, welcome to the chat. Some people, even if you give them something better, if what's better does not work for them, they ain't gonna like it. They prefer what they feel is working for them. It sucks. But the truth about this world actually sucks, man. And that's why I'm telling you that it's a hell room, you know. You suffer for being right. Like, if you want to play this game, you need to play at the level that everyone else is playing, even if you don't enjoy playing at that level, even if you don't see solutions when you're playing at that level. The truth is wicked. I've seen a lot of people, man, that I knew could like make things better in the world, but the world broke them. I've seen people in a village that I grew up in, people who were right, people who had ideas. They say that it's the nail that sticks out that gets hammered. So it's kind of like that. It's like you see that this person can really make things work, but they're too ahead of everyone that everyone does not understand them. So how do you find a peace of mind in a world like that? In a world where not everyone is intelligent, in a world where those who are intelligent are being suppressed. At this level that we're operating on as a collective, charisma is what's important, you know. That's what really matters than being right. Like, we play by the rules of the matrix. You see, those who are too intelligent, they don't want to play by the rules of the matrix. They want things to change. They can see that the rules of the matrix are oppressing people, so they want things to change. But those who are not very intelligent, they don't want things to change. They're going to play by the rules of the matrix. So of course you can't expect people who are intelligent to cope. So I would say it's better to focus more on yourself, because you can't really change people. There will always be a few people, like the people who are intelligent are always going to be few. No matter how many people are being born, there will always be those who are just ahead of their time, who understand things that other people don't understand. These people will be appreciated after they are gone. People will say, oh, that person was right. You know, that person was right, but it won't matter anymore. By the time that everyone sees that you were right, it's too late. Like we chose the wrong leaders. Now we're suffering. You find that there was someone who was warning you and they were telling you facts. But at your level at the time, you didn't understand it. You didn't see that they were telling you facts. I guess taxis are allowed to operate today. Because yesterday, taxis were not allowed to operate. So at least today they are allowed to operate. They banned, I saw on the news that they banned more than 100 and maybe 116 taxis last night. I'm not sure how accurate that is. I have not been following the story. But it's crazy that we operate like monkeys. Even now, even though we can be able to communicate and actually come up with solutions that benefit everyone, people are choosing violence. A person chose to ban someone inside their own car. They're like, that can't be right. But the leaders, of course, they all only respond to that. Like, if you're going to tell them things that make sense and there's no controversy, they're not going to respond. But if you tell them, but if you cause violence, then that's when they're going to respond. The world is actually upside down, and it sucks more than a lot of people realize. So if you're intelligent and you are struggling, don't look down on yourself. Don't ever think that there's something wrong with you because you're not coping. Be confident. Know that you live in a society that doesn't appreciate true intelligence, right? You live in a society that doesn't really care about right or wrong, man. The society that we live in is controlled by power. It's controlled through power. It responds to power. It doesn't respond to truth. It doesn't respond to intelligence. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter how right you are, how correct you are. What matters is how powerful you are. That's it, and it's always been that way. But as a kid, you didn't understand that, so the world broke you. You see, you focus on being right. Maybe in your family, you used to tell your parents, your siblings, your friends the truth, but they didn't understand you, and because of that, there was no connection, right? You were always that kid. You were like the black sheep of the family. They didn't quite get you. You were often misjudged, right? Misunderstood, misheard, you know. And you thought that there was something wrong with you. You look at yourself and be like, yeah, there's something wrong with me. Why can't I just be like my brother? Why can't I just be like my sister? Right? Well, the truth is that you were just to them ahead, and they couldn't quite understand you. So because of that, you suffered. It's crazy, the kind of realm that we live in. And that's why I'm telling you about the story of the Anunnakis. Because if the Anunnakis altered our DNA, of course, this realm wouldn't care about intelligence, right? It will care about power, because that's what animals care about. Do you think animals care about intelligence, or who's right, who's wrong? They care about reason. They don't care about none of that. They care about what works. They care about power. They respond to power. So it makes sense. So if the Anunnakis altered our DNA and we became to them intelligent, we would see the flaws in the nature of things, right? We'll be like, no, this is not how it should be, because we're too intelligent. This reminds me of Genesis, right? The book of Genesis. You know, people like Adam and Eve became to them intelligent, and they were able see to see what's right and what was wrong, and God was mad. So it's kind of like the same thing, right? It's like you're too damn intelligent that you are able to see what's right and what's wrong, but a lot of people ain't. So now you can connect with them. The problem isn't that you're dumb. The problem isn't that you're wrong. The problem isn't that you have a mental illness. The real problem is that you are more intelligent than the people that you live with. And that is depressing. 185 megabytes left. But at least I was able to record for almost an hour. If I understood when I was younger that I was right about a lot of things and not look down on myself sometimes when I was being judged, I think I would have had a better experience. But I kept on judging myself. Guys, let's keep on liking the live. I'm not sure how long it's gonna last now because my data is almost finished. But let's keep on liking the lives. The live. I didn't tell a lot of people that I'm gonna be live. Like, that wasn't my intention actually. I just realized that I did, so I was like, oh, this might last for an hour, so let me just go live, because I kind of like enjoy it these days, and I want to connect with you guys. There are people who have sent me emails because they want to go live with me. So yeah, I'll tell you guys when we'll go live together and have discussions. I think it will be better if we go live and there's many of us just having a deep conversation about this realm. That would be beautiful. So yeah, we'll make that happen, definitely, as long as people are up for that. But yeah, I will definitely be going live as often as I can. I think yesterday I went live like 3 times. And I will always make videos that I will upload. Of course, videos that I will upload will be different, right? Because, yeah, I will just be me, right? So when you go live, so sometimes you have to. Okay, Jaron says, so basically the Matrix movie. This thing is, this comments keep on disappearing. Let's see. Okay, so basically the Matrix movie, like, Cypher is the most advanced character. I'll say that. No matter how crazy that may seem. Because here's the thing. It's not like the real world was better. It's not like we were sure that the real world was the real reality. So dude was like, you know what, man, let me just set myself free. I'm done. Because what do we benefit if we live in what we call the real world if it has the same problems that we're facing in the Matrix? Remember, the Matrix was a copy of the real world. So he was like, hey, whatever, dude. It's not like these humans are winning and they even understand what the real world is. And who created the real world? What if the real world was created by the demiurge? You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. We were able to do this for an hour. I know my date is almost finished. Thank you all guys for joining the live. See y'all on the next one. Oh, and like the live before you leave. No, beauty is subjective, not objective. Yeah, it is. If a lion sees a beautiful woman, do you think it's gonna be, ah, that's a beautiful woman? He's just gonna eat. So it's subjective. Thank you all guys.